Good morning and welcome to the Morning Drive. I'm your host, Brooks Fiesinger of brooksfiesinger.com and MillionaireWho.com, where we help you stabilize your wallet, secure your finances, and succeed in entrepreneurship and finance. I'm here again today with the Morning Drive with my host, my Hyundai Sonata. All right, we are on to episode 3. Okay, episode 3. And I keep learning more and more every time I do one of these things. So please let me know if there's anything else I can do better. Once again, I heard some concerns about audio quality. Hopefully that improved. I heard some concerns about video. Hopefully that's improved. So once again, let me know what I can do to improve these things. This is about helping you in assets of your life related to success, finance, and otherwise. So, you know, what is on the docket today? Today on the docket, we're going to learn from Nike. We're also going to talk about blowing your tax returns, as well as how to become a rich man off your tax returns, and how I like to play the lottery. Yes, you heard that right. We're going to talk about my love for the lottery. Alrighty. So first I want to talk about problems, okay? I had a little bit of problems this morning. I said 4. Why did I say 4? So I actually already recorded number 3, and it was the most disastrous situation I've ever had to date with something like this. So, you know, once again, I said earlier that I have no intention of editing these and deleting things, so I've got to give you the reason why this all went down. So, first of all, it was 8 degrees outside, and when I do these recordings, I can't have heat on, or you're going to hear a ridiculous blowing sound. So therefore, I literally had to turn off the heat, and the windows are freezing up, so things are getting awful. The sun, I happen to leave right at the time for the sun, since the sun's rising a little earlier now, is coming up right in the middle of the window, so it's just whitewashing the entire thing. And even then, I intended to keep it live and to make it keep happening, and I kept going, And then somehow, I don't know if it had to do with how much bright white light there was, therefore making it a massive file size. That's a little bit outside of my area of expertise. I don't know what it was, but then when I get home and I try to play it, it doesn't play. I try to load it on my computer, it doesn't play. I try to use some repair systems, it doesn't play. The recordings before it played, the recordings after it played, that one wouldn't work. I kept getting error messages talking about file problems. And then I realized, okay, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. So I literally cannot get the file to open, cannot get the file to play. And if I cannot get the file open, cannot get the file to play, I cannot share it with you. If anyone out there is a video genius and wants to try to repair it, I'm not opposed to that. But once again, I figured the best thing to do in this case was, unfortunately, or fortunately for you, because hopefully it's better the second time around, record a second version of this podcast. All right, so once again, growing pains, but we're figuring it out. Hopefully one of you has been trying to do something or wants to do something similar to what I'm doing right now, and you can look at some of these early on podcasts and say, you know what, now he's doing real well, but look what he was dealing with early on, right? So that comes with the territory. It comes with almost anything you do. Things don't work perfectly smoothly at the beginning. But that gets us into our first topic that I want to talk to you about today, right? And that's Nike, okay? What does Nike have to do with what I'm talking about? When I was younger, Nike was a hot brand. And today, I don't know if it's less of one. At least in my circles, I don't notice it as much as I used to. And by that, I mean I don't notice at all. I don't think I've heard of Nike in about a couple of years. I'm pretty sure they're still around. I don't know how they would not be around. But one of the reasons I wonder if I don't know a lot about it anymore is because of their slogan and their brand. And when I was younger, their slogan used to be Nike, just do it. And people would put just do it on t-shirts. They would put just do it on posters. And I don't know if Nike knew this or not, but they were not a shoe company. They were not a clothing company. They were an attitude. They were I'm gonna just do this. Never run a marathon, just do it. Never jumped out of an airplane, just do it. Never scored 10 3-pointers, just do it, right? It was that mentality of you can do it, just do it, just do it. That's what it was all about. And I love that. I love that growing up, you know. We would talk to each other and be like, hey, just do it, yeah, just do it. And I don't think that's their slogan anymore, which is kind of sad because that is so powerful. It's an attitude. It's not a brand. It's an attitude. Nike managed to brand the attitude of just doing it. In fact, if I said just do it today, despite the fact I haven't seen a just do it advertisement in years, you would probably know I'm talking about Nike. That's pretty cool, right? So the reason why I'm bringing up Nike, though, is because I love the attitude of just do it. And I can't tell you how often I hear about people not doing things and complaining that they can't for some reason. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't, you know, I have kids. I don't have kids. I have to go mow my lawn. I need sleep. I got to earn a paycheck. There's a million things that I hear of I can't do it because X, and there are a bunch of excuses. And excuses are frankly useless, right? I don't care. Who cares? Your excuses are just there to make you feel better about your own decision not to do it. Now, I see some people who are really awful at letting perfection get in the way of good enough. And the reason why this is important to note is because you cannot let perfection get in the way of good enough. I am going to be the first and not the last to tell you preparation is important. Put the time in, right? I won't start a business plan without an extensive business plan. I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a business plan. I'm going to have a strategy. I'm going to do my due diligence before I go into any business opportunity. I'm going to do that for any project I build. I'm going to plan it. I'm going to organize it. I'm going to maintain it. That's important. All right. So I'm not telling you not to, but at what point is enough enough? If you get to the point where you're not doing what needs to be done because you need to plan it or prepare for it, then you're taking too long. Right? Then you need to just do it. If you're scared, you know you need to do it even more. You just need to go there and do it. So that's really what's important for you to consider, and that's what we're really talking about today, is that idea that you can't use excuses not to get rolling. Maybe you don't have the money, but what can you do right now to get you towards there, right? Can you go take a second job and start earning that money? Can you go sell stuff on eBay? Can you go cut out expenditures? There's something you can do right now to work you towards anything you want to do. Anything, right? If you want to go to the moon, there's things you can do right now. Research physics, research the atmosphere. There's a ton of things you can do from that standpoint so you're more knowledgeable about it. You can, once again, start saving up, figure out how to lower your costs. You can say, hey, okay, well, I need $1 billion. I don't know how much it costs. I need $1 billion. All right, so how can I get $1 billion, right? Can you get $1 billion? Yes. I don't doubt for a minute that every single one of you can get $1 billion if you really, really wanted to. Oh, he's a nut. He thinks I can get $1 billion. Yes, you can, right? I know people who have gone from nothing to over $1 billion. You can do it, all right? So if you need $1 billion, what do you need to do? Well, you better start thinking about how you can make $1 billion. How do you make $1 billion? Well, you're going to make $1 billion by solving other people's problems. And you know what? Before you get $1 billion, you're first going to have to make $1 million. And before you get $1 million, you're first going to have to get $1. So go do something, earn $1. If you can go earn $1, you're on your way to your billion. Think about that. $1 is on its way to $1 billion. Can you get $1? Yes. If you don't drink coffee this morning, probably going to get $1. Save more than $1, right? If you can go sell an old pair of shoes for $10. You just made $10, which is 10 times the dollar that it takes to get rolling, right? So every single person on here can go start towards $1 billion right now, if that's your holdup. If it's time, be creative with time. Stay up a little later and don't turn on the TV. I kind of laugh. I hear people talk about the need to have cable TV, and I've never understood that because I've never had cable TV. And some people are like, oh wow, how do you not have cable? How do you afford to have cable TV? And I don't mean the $120 a month it costs you to get it. If you watch cable TV for 10 hours a month, that is 10 hours that you're not getting stuff done. Seriously, 10 hours. And, I like to watch it with my family. Is that really quality time with your family? Maybe it is for you. I'm not telling you don't do that. But for me, a cable TV subscription is the biggest waste of money I could ever do, because I will never get any value from it. The only thing it can possibly do is hurt me. All it can do is keep me from producing, keeping me from working on projects, keeping me on getting things done, right? And when I switched this mentality, you know, my daughter is in my office the other day helping me put together furniture, and guess what? She had a blast. She actually had a blast. She was enjoying herself helping me put together furniture, and you know, we got ice cream afterwards, and we had a good old time. And you know, that was quality family time, but that wasn't us sitting in front of a TV. And guess what? We also, a few days ago, played board games together, right? A board game isn't getting me towards $1 million, but it's a priority. It's my part of my family, and it's spending real quality time laughing and talking and having fun. And it's really making sure that the time that we are spending is quality and we get the most bang for the buck, because you want to get the most bang for the buck in everything you're doing. But no matter how you slice it and dice it, there's really no reason you can't go out there and do it, right? So hopefully your takeaway here is, once again, learn from Nike and just go out there and do it. And go ahead and buy your Nike shoes while you're at it, and go ahead and buy your Nike shirt while you're at it. And no, Nike is not talking to me about this. And remind yourself that your job is to go out there and just do it, right? So once again, learn from Nike, go out there and get started. There's no reason not to. There's no room for excuses. I don't want to hear them. No room for excuses. I don't care. Something happened, your dog got sick. I feel bad for you, but in the scheme of things, the fact that your dog is sick, it's unfortunate, but that's a circumstance. It's not, doesn't mean you can't still succeed. It doesn't mean you can't still work hard. It doesn't mean you can't make progress. Or say, for example, you have a health problem, right? Just in this last year, I'll tell you right now, we dealt with some serious health problems. And do you know what those health problems mean to me? It means I have a bigger reason to need to do something, right? It's often we have health problems ourselves or with family or whatnot, and that to me is a reason why I need to succeed even more. And if I lose a job, or a spouse loses a job or something like that, guess what? It means I got to work harder. I have a reason why I need to do more. If my kid is going to an expensive school next year, well, I need to do more. All those things that seem like problems are reasons why you need to be successful, and why you need to just do it and move towards whatever those targets and goals are. Once again, no room for excuses, any kind of excuses, right? There's some amazing people out there who have lost limbs, who have been on the brink of death, who have lost their families, who have lost everything they owned in fires. You know, that kind of stuff happens, and it's bad. Sympathy from a friend standpoint, yes, you know, that's rough. But that's rough, so what are you gonna do about it now, right? Because that stinks that it happens. The bad things are gonna happen to everybody in life. And what you've got to do is you've got to be able to pull your bootstraps back up and get back on that horse, right? You got to get back on it, and you got to go make things happen and just do it. All right. Second thing I want to talk about today is the tax returns. Yeah, tax returns. Woohoo! Yeah, free money. Free money. You're going to get some free money. So I'm astounded by how many people get super excited about tax return season. Like, hey, I'm gonna get all this money and it's great. I can go blow it on some cool stuff. Yeah, free money, free money. Do you get free money from your tax returns? Isn't that awesome? Like, free money, you can go buy anything you want. Buy a new TV. It's kind of cool, right? No, it's not cool. All right, let's talk honestly about it. Let's pretend you went to a restaurant, and in this restaurant you bought a $10 meal. I live in the Midwest. In the Midwest, $10 will buy you a decent meal. I know some of you at McDonald's or in New York City are thinking, $10 won't even get me a hamburger. $10 will get you a decent meal around here, right? Sit down. And say it's $10. And so you hand your waiter or waitress $20. And they come back and say, all right, here's $5 change, okay? And you say, wait. I owe you $10. Right? And I gave you 20. that means you got to give me 10 back, not 5 back, 10 back. And the waiter says, oh, I'm so sorry. So they say, that was an honest mistake, meant to give you 10, I gave you 5, here's another $5. So now I gave you 10 back, right? So you owe 10, you paid 10, life is good. Now you can go leave your tip and things will be well. But wait. Imagine, do you sit there and say, okay, here's your tip, thank you very much, and move on? Or do you say, that was $5, I got $5 free dollars. I'm gonna go buy the pie, and I'm gonna go buy the, something else. I'm gonna buy those mints in the exit. And by the way, I'm gonna give you a big bonus tip because I got $5 free dollars. Is that what you say? I'm guessing not, and I sure hope not, because that's what you're doing when you do the tax return, right? Why the heck did you overpay the government and then celebrate and get excited when they give you your money back that you owe, no, that's yours, that you should never have paid in the first place, right? You paid too much, and now you're complaining, or you're excited because they refunded you the money that you overpaid. First of all, don't overpay. Why did you overpay, right? If you're getting a huge deduction, then that means you paid too much taxes during the year. Why did you overpay? Because you know how much the government pays you to borrow your money? Nothing. They don't pay you a penny to borrow your money. Right now, if you would have taken that several $1,000 tax refund and you wouldn't have prepaid it to the government, and you would have instead kept the portion that you didn't need to pay. You certainly pay your taxes. You got to pay your taxes. But there's a portion of your taxes that you didn't have to pay. That's why you get a refund. If you would not have paid that, and instead you would have put it in a just a basic savings or a investment account, mutual funds even, you would have gotten $70 free, $100 free. You would have actually gotten more money, right? You would have gotten actually more money. Not the money that was you shouldn't have paid back, but you would have actually gotten more money. So think about it. When you look at that $2,000 you get from tax refund, instead of being excited, you should think about the fact that, oh, I actually lost the interest that I should have earned on this money. You lost money because of that tax return. So you're sitting there doing this happy dance about this free money that you get, when realistically, you should be frustrated that you literally threw money in the toilet because you were too lazy to make sure your forms were right with your company. Think about that, right? All these people are doing happy dances when they should be angry that they wasted money. They lost money. You threw money in the toilet. Congratulations, you threw money in the toilet. Obviously, you hate money and don't care about it because you threw it in the toilet. Don't throw money in the toilet, right? Now, some people think I'm crazy, including other financial experts, because I will actually save or try to go for about $250 refund. And the reason is I try to edge just slightly on the refund side because I don't want to get hit with a huge penalty. If you owe more than $1,000, I'm not an accountant or tax attorney, contact them, but it's somewhere in this vicinity. If you owe something like $1,000 or more, then you have to pay a penalty on the money you owe. I don't want to pay a penalty. I also don't like to be caught off guard at the last minute when I have to pull together some money to pay more taxes. So I like to edge on the side of a slight refund, but I definitely don't want a $5,000 refund. I don't want a $10,000 refund because that means I paid way too much in taxes, and I asked, why did I pay so much in taxes? Why did I throw money down the toilet? So once again, if you're getting a huge refund, not a time to be excited, a time to be upset, okay, because you wasted money. Once you realize you wasted money, you can hopefully fix it for next year. Now, what about this free $2,000? It's not free money, okay? You worked hard for that money. It's not a free fall that you should go below. You should go spend it intelligently, all right? Go invest it. Go put it towards your business startups. Go put it towards, you remember the excuses? You said you couldn't do this because you can't afford. Well, now you can go buy that thing that will help you get towards that goal that you're working towards. So, once again, use the money wisely, invest it. You can still fund last year's IRAs. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with that money besides blowing it on a new TV for the Super Bowl. Although by the time you see this, it will be after the Super Bowl. Hate those references that aren't relevant. Anyway, so once again, it's not money to blow, so don't blow it. It's that simple. Now, do you know people that sit there and say, I got a tax refund, let me go blow it? Yes, there's a lot of those people. In fact, I would say that, wouldn't say there's a majority, but there's a good number of people. And I love them. Do you know why I love them? I would love that they'd watch this podcast and listen to what I'm talking about and stop being like that, because I like people to be smart. But if you're going to go blow your money, you might as well blow it with me. And I have found that low price cars shoot up in value early in the year because people are like, hey, I now have the money to go buy it. Junk that I have accumulating around the house, this is the time to sell. Spring cleaning, this is spring cleaning time because when tax refunds are coming out, there's people scouring Craigslist and eBay to go blow their money, and they're going to go bid up something that's not worth $500 to somehow get it to $500 because there's 10 other people with tax refunds to blow, and they don't view that as real money. They view that as a free lottery winnings, right? And so I literally will go clean out stuff right now and go post it on eBay and Craigslist and otherwise. You know, an old set of wheels that I don't need for my truck anymore. A month ago, it would have been worth $50. Now it's worth $250. If I have a car that's in the sub $10,000 range, the time that I'll list it was going to be right in the end of January, right? To get people excited about tax refund time. They all of a sudden have this money and they're going to blow it. It's basic supply and demand. When you have, you know, small supply and all of a sudden a lot of demand because people are blowing their money, then you can sell them. So this is the time I sell a lot of those trinkets. Think about that for yourself. Do you have stuff that you can easily sell and maximize your profit right now? It's kind of funny, but it's also kind of cool that you know, the fact that other people are blowing their money right now becomes an opportunity for me, you, and all of us, right? And you need to look for those opportunities in life. These are the kind of opportunities you want to look for. You want to look for the fact that other people are blowing money and overpaying for things. Because they're blowing money and because they're overpaying things, it is the perfect time to sell to them. Because if they're going to spend the money anyway, you want them to spend that money with you, right? You want them to spend their money with you. Because they're going to spend their money and you're going to get them to spend it with you, that's going to make you more wealthy. Now think about it for a minute. If instead of blowing your tax refund, you invest it, and instead of blowing your tax refund and making other people like me rich, you go spend your money or go spend your time to go sell things you don't need right now while other people are blowing their money. Think about the swing here. Scenario A, I blow my tax refund. I have $0 and junk I don't need. Scenario B, I save my $2,000 and I make another $2,000 selling junk I don't need. Scenario A, you have $0, you're broke again. Scenario B, you have $4,000, you're doing pretty darn well. Take that $4,000, put it in investments. And you know, how much is that over 35 more years? I don't know how old you are. If you're 60, maybe you don't have 35 more years, but you know what? If you're 60, there's a good chance you do. So how much is that worth in 35 years? $150,000 maybe? That's realistic. Think about it. That $4,000 that you would have normally blown could be $150,000 when you need it later in life. That's what we're talking about here. Because this is just one incident. And when you start thinking like this everywhere, if you think like this everywhere, then all of a sudden you start turning out $2,000, $4,000, $8,000, $10,000, and your $10,000 is generating $10,000. And that's how you become a millionaire, a billionaire, etc. Right now you got your $1 billion, you can go to the moon. All right? Starts with this is how you start. You gotta just do it. You gotta start. Once again, I think it's really cool how people blow their money, therefore you can take advantage of it. Now, once again, I'd rather they learn from me and don't blow their money, because I think the world would be a better place if everybody was smart with their money. I think we'd all be better off. But if people are blowing it, they might as well blow it with you and help you get out of the rat race. And so once again, hopefully that tip is helpful. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is playing the lottery. Again, some of you are probably thinking, what? The guy who talks about not blowing money and not spending money you don't have to plays the lottery? I'm talking to you about the rich man's lottery, all right? The rich man's lottery is not going in with $2 or $20 and going into your local gas station and buying a ticket that you have 0.000000001% chance of winning, right? Exaggeration again. That's not the lottery I'm talking about, because to me that's futile. Why would I want to throw even $2 away? I don't want to throw $2 away. I watch my dollars. I watch every dollar. So, but what I kind of call the rich man's lottery is this idea that there's tons of opportunities out there that sometimes don't take a lot of effort. They don't take a lot of time. They don't take a lot of effort. And maybe you sit there and say, look, instead of putting a bunch of business planning together and investment time into this opportunity, I'm instead going to just try it real quick, because it's only going to cost me $100 and a week. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I've done this with car parts before. I'm fixing a car part. I come up with some new design that solves the problem that I personally have. So therefore I send it, or I use it, and then I take some pictures of it and I post it on eBay. And maybe people will buy it, maybe they won't. If I find a bunch of people buying it, then all of a sudden I have a working business and I know there's customers out there. And it took the same amount of time as it would have taken me to, or I shouldn't say the same amount of time, barely any extra time. It took me a few hours to give it a shot. If you can get a business rolling and out to the market in a few hours, I'm not saying don't ever create a business plan, but just do it and get it out there and give it a shot. That's playing the lottery in my book. So Elon Musk the other day came out with the Boring Company, which is his underground tunneling company's flamethrower. And they listed, I think it was 20,000 of them for sale. And he at least sold 75% of them in a couple of days. I don't know if they've sold out by now. But that's at least $7.5 million in revenue that he generated, up to $10 million in a flamethrower. So a friend of mine was sitting around at lunch talking about it, and we realized real quickly that we could have actually built that same flamethrower for about 40 bucks. 80 bucks total, including hiring somebody to put them together. So we sat there and said, you know what? We could actually go out there, buy these parts, build them, sell them. And you know, we're not going to take Elon Musk's business. He's a popular guy. He's got a lot of attention. Attention makes people excited to buy from you. But what if we become the knockoff, right? He's selling them for 500 bucks. What if we sell them for 250, half price? Do the exact same thing, half price. The only difference, it doesn't have his name on it. If we did that, would they sell? Now, we would literally make 180 bucks for every one we sold. He sold 20,000 of them. If we sold 1,000 of them, that's still a very, very pretty penny. And that is exactly what we're talking about right now when we're talking about things like playing the lottery. It's, if I went out there and bought those parts and I built my first one and I brought it to market quickly, and you know, and when I say quickly, I mean a week, a few days, that's investing a little bit of time, and it's certainly investing effort. I won't take away from the fact that it's investing effort, but all that time and effort is, you know, could pay off big time quickly, right? I could sell 1,000 of these things in a week. And if I sold 1,000 of these things in a week, I could make millions of dollars in a week's effort. Now, odds are it won't work. And odds are this opportunity won't be there in a year, right? It's a short windowed opportunity with a very high payoff with a very low cost of entry. When you find those opportunities, I call that playing the lottery. And you might say, hey, there's other things you can do. Yes. And I don't stop them. I don't stop in my job. I don't stop my other efforts. I'm not stopping this podcast. I'm not stopping these other efforts. But it's something you kind of bolt on and do for fun. And you get excited to try something and doing something cool. And you might have a huge payout. And that's what I call the rich man's lottery. And I've heard of other people doing that. They'll record a song because they see an opportunity. Say, for example, for elections. You know, it's election. Oh, I've got a song that's going to fit the election. Let me get this in. You might not even be a singer. But because there's an opportunity that the mainstream people aren't taking advantage of, you can jump in there. Or, hey, this big time product sold out and it's not going to be restocked for a month. Let me stick myself in there during that 1 month and get a month's worth of business because there's pent up demand and I can fill that demand. And I might not be as good as that other guy, but I'm going to sell. Those are the kind of things that we're talking about when I talk about playing the lottery. So once again, I'm all for playing the rich man's lottery, right? If you've got other initiatives going and you decide that you want to try one initiative, which is, hey, I'm going to go try to get my product or get my idea or something like that, give it a shot. I'm going to, hey, post this website up because it's only going to take me a few hours to build this website and see if anyone uses it. I'm 100% behind that. You know, some people say, hey, you got to put 100% into your one big gig. You do have to put 100% in your main gig. But if you want to stay up a few hours late a few days to work on this side lottery project, go for it. More power to you. Sometimes they pay out. But like the lottery, rarely they do. But unlike the lottery, you have a better chance of it paying out than you ever will playing the real lottery where you're paying, you know, several dollars for tickets every week. So once again, play that lottery. All right. So I appreciate you guys joining me for this drive today. I had fun and I hope you did too. So once again, thanks for joining me and go out there and make the impossible happen.